The development of the benefiting nation, especially the U.S., cannot be overemphasized. These companies have grown to become multi-billion-dollar corporations with humongous effects on national and transnational economies, and many are still growing and triggering different levels of multipliers. The ages of these innovators, which range from 19 to 32, speak volumes about the power of the youth. So the youth is supposedly more open-minded and perhaps not restricted by the experiences of the elderly. The youth is daring, competitive, and may be very energetic to take risks in the ideal sense of it. While the experienced may be able to stay afloat, the mindset of the youth can enable him or her to go ahead. But he might also crash along the way. The thing is that if he does, he should get up. So he dares again and again until he achieves success. The stimulated disposition of the youth is mostly born out of the curious internal drive, the energy that's in him, the energy that's in you, propelling you, which is why serious nations anywhere in the world prioritize their interests for the sake of its future. The interests of the youths are prioritized. Like the example of the young American innovator who literally disrupted conventional narratives of companies' successes. Their combined wealth of several trillions of dollars is part of the reason why America will be respected as a bastion of capitalism and as a nation of immense technological growth. National development has invariably happened and will continue to happen because of the creativity of our youths. For the youth entrepreneur to be disruptively innovative for technology in national development, therefore, there are other conditions apart from good education, good health, and a productive outlook. One of these is for you to be focused. A sense of focus is important to avoid distractions. What this means is that the youth must have a right attitude. The attitude should be one of goal orientation. The youth should be able to be purposeful and not be carried away by the enticement of the now, of the moment. An eye on the future helps the drive for more work, hunger, which can be rewarding at most times. Other than this is the need to be open-minded. This open-mindedness can be to ideas, to suggestions, and to partnerships. I've argued elsewhere before now that partnerships can create grounds for mutual support and for the splitting of risks. The PPPs, the public-private partnership, locates another brand of collaboration between public-owned entities and the private sector, again highlighting the importance of coming together. Collaborations amongst entrepreneurs are, however, more crucial if we need to appreciate the importance of cooperation in business. Importantly, it can be another ground for growth and for national development. So open-mindedness also means a readiness for experiments. The ability to try out the things could be fearful, but fear is something that you must go through. Fear is always an impediment of innovation, but there's nothing wrong for you to be afraid. Just overcome the fear. The fear of failing is an invitation of not trying. You must surmount and subdue fear in anything that you do. It is not the right kind of fear to have. If you're fearful, and then you backtrack. Common to all great disruptive innovations have been courage, purposefulness, perseverance, focus, as I said, and more work. It is possible to argue that the environment matters as well. I agree, but nevertheless, we need to note that there have been several failures in the so-called favorable environments, just as there have been many successes in the adjudged unfavorable environments. What matters in the circumstances is to make the best of your condition. We cannot afford to waste our youthful energy. We must make use of the energy. The energy are not just significant for national growth, but helpful to self-development. The founder of the Mo Ibrahim Foundation for Good Governance in Africa, Dr. Mo Ibrahim, once remarked that Africa is a continent of young people. He said our democracy is completely different from the rest of the world. Within 3 generations, 41% of the world's youth will be Africans. By 2030, Africa's labor force will be larger than China's. And by 2035, it will be larger than India's. This is a wonderful resource for our continent. If this resource is skilled and employed. I hope we do better with our abundant human resources and avoid what is called a potential cost. A more Nigerian-centered analysis maintained that half of Nigeria's population is made of youths, meaning that one of the nation's estimated 180 million people, that of the nation's estimated 180 million people, about 90 million youths are there, including us, including you. This means that about 90 million are between the ages of 15 and 34. If we want to go by the set understanding of the word youth in our country, that's a huge number. Important in all this analysis is that the youth population is not a group that can be toyed with if development and sustainable growth is to be prioritized. While we should not undermine the population, the youth should also be conscientious, forward-looking, and determined. They should be daring, inventive, and ready to break grounds in manners that depart from the norm.
John Momo, OON, or the chairman and CEO of Channels Media Group, the current chairman of the Broadcast Organization of Nigeria. Himself was had a Lifetime Achievement Award, an Entrepreneur of the Year Award 2008, and Leadership Award of 2014. He was around 38 when he founded Channels Television in 1995. We'll come back after the break.